When I was dating a girl, there would be one question that she would ask me that would make me feel extremely uncomfortable. It's when she said, "So, what are we?" And I never liked that question. And let me tell you why. There are two things that this question says about the person that's asking it to you, both of which doesn't make them look good at all. But before I talk about those two things, I'd like to talk about how that question made me feel. Quite simply, I don't appreciate being ambushed with an avoidant question, sweetheart. And that's what this question is, a cowardly, avoidant ambush. Look, she's obviously been thinking about the issue and wants to talk about it. And she's prepared herself for the discussion beforehand. But I haven't, have I? I'm being cornered. Flat out, she's just being a coward. And why do I say she's being a coward? Well, because if she were being honest with me, she'd tell me she'd like to get more serious with me and have the exclusivity talk or something along those lines. Or maybe she doesn't want to get serious with me at all and wants to make it clear that it's just casual for her and she wants to keep it that way. But I have no idea. She's holding the cards close to her chest and insisting that I show my cards first. And on top of that, I don't even know we're playing cards in the first place. And on top of that, she's acting as though it's an innocent question, as though she were asking me a general question like, where do you think the world's going in 5 years? Rather than her being direct and honest and telling me what she really wants and feels, she surprises me by putting me on the spot, makes me uncomfortable and not herself, and puts all the responsibility onto me and gives herself an out later, like a coward. So if I say I'm not after anything serious, she can pretend,
"Oh my God, I feel the same way."
And if I instead say I do want something serious, she can also respond the same way.
"Oh my God, I feel the same way."
She has one face-saving answer for me, no matter what I say. And then she could take her time and decide what she wants after I've been honest with her first. Or alternatively, you can do the cliche that many women love doing. Keep pushing your man to change into what you wanted all along, but were too afraid to admit. And speaking of not communicating honestly, it is a bad start. The question, what are we, is not just evasive, but an awful way to begin a potential relationship as well. It is a really bad first impression. That is, instead of stating with a liberating and honest stance of, this is me, this is what I want, this is who I am. Either love me for who I am or leave me for who I am. She instead starts with, I'm not even here. What do you think? First of all, if I'm unsure where I stand or the direction of my relationship, I have an open and honest conversation with my date. Ask her about her intentions, her thoughts for the future, and what life she wants. And generally, if we're on the same page. And look, whether she feels nervous and uncomfortable or
I'm just a girl,
I really don't respect that anymore, and I don't have time for it or patience, because she doesn't care about me feeling uncomfortable with the question she's asking me. She is being rude. Or more accurately, she's not being polite with that question. And note the distinction here, because she doesn't ask me the way she should ask me. She doesn't tell me how she feels and then sees what I think and let's have a conversation about it. Or tells me how she sees things between us or what she actually wants and then asks me to join in on the conversation with her. No, there's no conversation framing the pivotal subject that's on her mind at the moment. Her mind, remember, not mine. Nope. She just throws her hot potato into my hands and watches me get uncomfortable. Prepare me for the hot potato first, Chicky Poo. I mean, I remember when I went on first dates and I would ask, what are you tired of with guys? And almost unanimously, women will say they're tired of guys who are avoidant, who don't mean what they say, who don't open up, who play games. Yet that's exactly the way she was acting, avoidant and playing games. I got to walk on eggshells and read her mind because insecure pumpkin doesn't want to be honest about her feelings. And I have to say this, I think the way modern people go about relationships today is a joke. They disregard the way we used to do things, which was frankly a lot simpler, in favour of this drama way of provoking each other. What passes for intimacy today is the equivalent of a toddler banging a wooden spoon on a pot and calling themselves a drummer. People have short memories, but we never used to say, "What are we?" as a cowardly way to avoid having the conversation about exclusivity. You know what girls used to ask guys when I was dating? They didn't ask, "What are we?" in a vague way. They used to ask, "Where is this relationship going?" It was still a confronting question, but at least we were approaching it as a possible relationship, as something that was maybe going to be real. We were being honest about it, instead of asking, "What are we?" and being obtuse and saying, "What is this thing we're in?" When I used to date, which was not that long ago, it used to start as dating with the intent of something more stable and long-term. But apparently people don't care about their futures now. They aren't having future-focused relationships. They're having these vague, in-the-moment situationships where everyone just floats around stimulating each other, always single and available, always on a treadmill of person to person to person. This sea of people they're always throwing themselves into over and over again. If you're interested in discussing these issues more, join me for my live streams where I'll go deeper into these topics and where you can also ask me a question. If you want to be notified of the next live stream, subscribe down below. Thanks. As I mentioned at the start of the video, what is the question, "What are we?" What does it actually say about the person who's asking it to you? I believe the confronting question, "What are we?" or "Where is this relationship going?" come from one of two places, both of which aren't good in my opinion. She either doesn't know why she's there and she's effectively asking, "Why am I even here? Tell me please, because I have no idea." Or the more likely scenario, she knows what she wants and feels but just won't communicate honestly with you and is only used to using her avoidant, manipulative game-playing tactics like she's always used in past relationships to get what she wants in love. To me, this all stems from a lack of honest communication. It's really worrying when you think about it. It means that she may be used to gaslighting as a way of trying to be happy in every relationship she has, instead of the basic principle to communicate so both of you are on the same page. Because Toots, you'd know what this was if you were communicating openly with me, if you didn't have a quiet mask on during the dating and honeymoon period, if you weren't putting on a vague and smooth act, if you weren't hiding who you were and just, going with the flow in a modern, "it's a whatever" thing. You'd feel secure in knowing what you're actually in now with me, because you would be talking with me and not just agreeing with me to stay with me. This young, modern, cringy way of just vibing with somebody. Look, let's be frank, when it's a vague and casual relationship, it's not something that you really care too much about. It's not precious, it's disposable. There's always another replacement around the corner. Dating today, to me at least, resembles parachuting. Exhilarating for a moment, but the ground is approaching and you want to know when you should pull the cord. So asking yourself, "Where is this thing going?" is actually a healthy and natural response to drifting aimlessly through life. But putting that question onto someone else is avoiding the fact that that question is meant for you to answer first. To sum it up, if you have to ask the question, "What are we?" you are not communicating with the person you claim to be in a relationship or love. You are lying to yourself and them, or at the very least, you are hiding. You're invisible. And speaking of not communicating honestly, if you'd like to know just how absolutely essential it is to show up in front of other people, but especially on dates, as yourself completely, watch this video I did a while ago. Thanks for watching till the end, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.